Everyone, my name is Amy and I'm going to be demonstrating how to create a simple paint drip effect in Photoshop. So first we're just going to quickly open a new Photoshop document. It can be any size as long as it's got space for type font to be used in it. So this one's just 25 by 1250. 2540 by 1250. We're going to go to our type. We're going to make sure it is black to make this simpler for us. And we're just going to type in our word. So I'm going to type in slime. And we're just going to bring it to the middle. And then from here, we're going to go to our layer options and go to blending. And here we're going to turn on bevel and emboss. Going into that, we're going to make sure the depth is 500%, the size is 100, and soften it to 5. We're going to turn on inner stroke, turn on stroke, and just leave the settings as they are, and then turn on the drop shadow, and then put the opacity to 75%, and then just play around with it till it looks like it's at a decent level of like drooping or fading underneath the background of the letters. It looks all right here. We're at 11, 7, and 10. We're going to click OK. From here, we're going to create a new layer. Layer 1, we're going to put it above the background but below the text. And then from here, we're going to go to our brush tools. We're going to pick any brush that's in the any brush in here, and we're going to make sure the hardness is at 100%, and then we're going to create little lines dropping down off of the letters. So we're going to use the size 10, 15, and 20 to do this, and I'm going to just zoom in a bit. There we go. And we're going to click and then hold shift and drag down, and this will give us our little bits of paint as they droop off the letters like it's dripping. They can be different lengths or different sizes. Yeah, so you do this with different sizes of brushes. So for this I'm using size 10, size 15, and size 20. Put some size 15 in here. And as we do this, you just kind of like click and hold shift, because that way you get a straight line as it goes down and drips off. And then we're going to add some more at size 20 and just have a couple of these because they're bigger and they droop just a little bit less, because as bigger ones, they don't normally go much further or drip very far, if you've ever seen any, paint dripping off something. And if they're too long, then just, use Control Z and undo it. Undo things till it looks like they have a decent droop factor. Then after this, we're going to go in and use brushes that are 4 pixels above the original ones we did and just create little bubbles on the end, like the end of, to create a little bubble of where the paint is gathered afterwards. And just make sure that we do all of these, and then do the same for the other 2 sizes. So for 15 it would be 19, and for 20 it would be 24, just to get a little bit of a bubble on the end for paint. If you wanted to put smaller bubbles down the middle, you could, but for now we're just doing it simply. And I'm just going to do the last ones really quickly here. So as you can see, it's starting to look like there's stuff dripping off of these letters to start, and they all have little bubbles on them to look like they're dripping. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this layer and add some blending options to it as well. And we're going to turn on bevel and emboss. And from here, we're going to add some depth to it, just to change up how it looks. A bit. I'm going to leave it at 620. We're going to soften it some more to 10 and leave the size at 100, and we can turn on stroke. And if you want to add a drop shadow, you can. We're going to add a drop shadow to this as well, except this drop shadow is going to be very close and not far off from the original drawing itself. And we're going to click OK, and then from here we're going to look at it and see it looks like there's paint dripping off of it at this point. And then from here we're going to merge both the slime layer and layer 1 into one layer. No. There we go. Now merge the layers. And then from here, as you can see, I have a image of text with paint dripping off of it, and it is all in one image. Easy to use. So that's my tutorial for you. It's a simple way to add a text effect to some text and to make it look like there's stuff, pieces falling off of it. And I hope you all enjoyed this. Thanks.